Everyone! Mr. Slime Smasher back with another Crossout tutorial video. Today's one a bit different. Again, it's another request from one of you guys, so thank you to the person who requested I do this build. This is the Pariah Tank from Gears of War, or at least an attempt at recreating it, as I don't play Gears of War. But this was requested a while ago, so I apologise for being super slow on getting this video out. This is the best I could do to my abilities, having not played Gears of War before, and using source materials from fandom wikis. So this is as accurate as I could get it with the limitations of Crossout and my skill. So let's not waste any more time and get right into the build. Starting off, you're going to get some frames. You're going to use lightweight 6x4s. And then after that, you're going to get your light moving parts, the sleek mirrors. You place 2 on the front as far forward as you can. Clone them and make sure you rotate them. You can press E to do this on keyboard. And place those with 2 pins attached on the rear. Just like so. On the frames, you're going to get your cami cab. Using cami specifically because it is the shortest cab I own. I'm going to place it like so. Once you've done that, let's start off with the front of the construction, all the way down to the stackable parts, to get a hard module, and a claw, yes, claws, and place that upside down on the underside of the hard module, have it come like so. On either side of the hard module, you're going to get some lunatic pieces, the cones. And rotates at them so they cover up the camis with front wheel arches, like that. For those wondering, the cami will be completely covered, like I was showing just a moment ago. You could barely see it, so it will get more hidden throughout the building process. For that, you're going to get some quarter walls. Place them as far forward as you can on each side of the cami, like so, but not overhanging like that, or like this. They need to be aligned up with the cami. And you're just going to mirror them behind. Just going to make sure that they are kind of centered like this. Going down to the second parts again, you get strength and slopes, and just place one of those on either side of where you've just placed the quarter walls, and also an APC roof part underneath them. Now this is fairly bulky already, kinda like the source material, but this is as accurate as I could get it, guys. After that, you're going to get small avia panels. Place those on the bottom parts of the ABC roofs, on the front of the car or tank, and then on the top and on the front of those, you're going to get some small struts, just like so. For the rear, you're going to get a medium strut placed on the top half of the APC roof parts, and then on the back of the medium struts, you can just place small struts, just like so. Fill in this gap here. You're going to get the strengthened twin slope and rotate it so the small corner here is facing backwards on each side. If you were following everything correctly, this is what your tank should be looking like so far. Continuing on, you're going to go up to your founder's parts and get the crane plugs. You're going to need the right one on the right side and the left one on the left side, so the slope is kind of smooth towards the small strut on the rear. Starting the I guess, headlights, you're going to get the filters. Place the left filter on the right, and one pin inwards from the front of the strengthened slopes and quarter walls, and a right slope on the left, just on the other side, like so. So these slots on the filter are horizontal. In front of those, you're just going to place 2 headlights, singular bulb ones, on the sides of the filter facing the cami. And on the outside, you're going to get a raven's eye and just place them on like so. Now we can start covering up the cami with the thin strike plates, placing them as far back as you can on the filters as you can go. You might need to move your cami for this, and then also just place 2 more along those like that. Just to transition the edge a bit smoother, you're going to place some catch bumpers on either side as well. Here's a brief demonstration of what I've done so far. Continuing, going to get the strengthened twin slopes again, placing them on either side of the rear of the cami with the small corners facing backwards again. And then to cover up the cami even more, you're going to get a small tank side part and place that on top of the engine bay, lining up with the thin strike plates. To cover up the windshield, I'm going to use a van ramp, placing that like so. And then on the inside of the van ramp, I'm going to get a wide slope and place that so it covers the windshield. Now minus these holes here, the cami is pretty invisible. Start with the, I guess, what I'm assuming is the fuel tanks of the tank. And you get in the car jack and the fuel barrels, placing those like so. I think that's how I did it. Whoa. My memory is failing me. Ah yes, you're going to get your crane plugs. Place them on the back of the strengthened twin slopes, like so. You're going to get, start with the hardware just briefly. You're going to get your Maxwell, place it on the back of the claws, making sure the pins are facing out either side, not underneath. This is important later, so it will need to look like this. For a little bit the underside, you're going to get the... where is it? Ah yeah, so it's the home front piece. You have to make that go upside down, facing backwards, so it looks like that. This is where you'll be starting your fuel tanks, the car jack, and the fuel barrels, like so. As you're going to need to place them 1 pin higher than I just did. And then you're going to place the metal boxes on the fuel barrels just like that. You don't need to rotate them. Finalizing the underside's rear, you get a aviar wide slope and just a regular AVO slope and place those so the curve is upside down facing backwards. As well as getting a frontal protection system, placing that on the rear, attached to the metal boxes in the bottom part of the car jack. Next up, you're going to get another catch bumper, rotating it so the underside is facing upwards, and placing another one of those above the frontal protection system. For this hole here, you're going to get a AVO wide slope. Place that just like so, in the gap behind the cami. And for the sides, you're going to get catch bumpers again, placing them so 5 pins are attached to the back side of the roof part, and 1 pin is touching the strengthened twin slope. And then you're just going to mirror that on the other side of the tank, like so. As well as getting the buggy corners, rotating those so the flat side, not the grated side, is touching the cab, not the cab, crane plugs and the twin slope. Again, mirroring it on the underside. So that is the right buggy corner on the right and the left buggy corner on the left. For the cannon, I'd recommend using an elephant for this, as it's most accurate to the cannon the actual tank has. But because I don't have it, I'm going to be using a narwhal instead. But if you don't have either of those, you could also use a compiler. No, I think this one is a bit too big. So I'm going to be using narwhal. Finalizing the building, we're going to go back to our Maxwell and we're going to use one of our last few parts for the horn. We'll be using the Elephant horn, as it is a fairly tank-ish horn. And I'd say, from memory, this build is complete. Probably a bit different from what I just showed you at the start of this video, but from memory it is pretty identical. Again, apologies if it isn't. Oh, I remember what I did do. Gonna get some hatchets, place them so they're facing upwards, like that, on either side of the claws underneath the combs. Those will attach to the frames that the Sleipnirs are attached to as well. So now, from memory, this tank is complete. Again, apologies if it's not the most accurate build in the world, or if it's not the best looking tank in the world. I don't build tanks that often. You know, most of my builds are scale accurate cars. That's what I mostly do. I do spread out and, you know, try and build other things every now and again, such as, you know, the occasional tank like this, but I never have used a source material for a tank before. So now that the building is done, it can start the paints. It's going to go down to the legendary paints, and you're going to get the battle scar, paint every single part. There we can start off with the protective cover, painting the catch bumpers and the buggy corners and the small struts on either side of the armouring. As well as painting the fuel barrels, car jack on the rear, the frontal protection system, the wide AVO slopes on the rear, the home front, the frames, the Maxwell, the elephant horn, the claws, the hatchets, the headlights, raven's eyes, filters, and the Sleipnirs. Again, using the protective covering for all that I've just done. And so the paint doesn't show any glowing bullet holes. It's actually not doing it this time. did it earlier. But just in case for you guys, because it did it for me earlier, you're going to get the Kahaki 3 paint and paint the strengthened twin slopes on underneath the thin stripes plates, as well as painting the cami. Now this build is very simple for stickers. I couldn't see much in terms of branding other than a logo on either side of the armoring. And I've looked through my storage and I don't have anything too similar. The closest thing I could get to the logo on either side was with the shield or on the shield. So I feel like the colours don't match at all. That's the logo. For those who don't know, the logo is red. But it's a similar shape to with the shield or on the shield. So instead I'm just going to simply use Gladiator's Mark, placing it on the top half of the APC roof piece and shrinking it a little bit, and then mirroring it on the other side. And there you have it, guys. Your Gears of War tank is complete. Thank you to the guy who requested I do this build. And again, apologies for being so slow on this. I've been really busy in the real world, as well as wanting to get that Beacon 11 tutorial out and the Bahunka video out, both as planned for the Beacon and as soon as possible with the Bahunka. So thank you everyone for watching. If you also want to leave a request, I'd prefer if you left a recommendation of what cab to use, as I can very easily adapt to whichever cab you guys select, such as Beacon 11 or Kensei that I've done already as requested. Though if you have any actual vehicles, then I'd be happy to build those as well, such as cars from Cyberpunk, GTA, etc. Though I'm not too against building other vehicles such as tanks like this. Just be wary that they might not be super accurate and they might not be the best looking, as again, I rarely build tanks. But that's going to be it for today's video, guys. Thank you to DUBBY for continuing to partner with me. Although I'm not too sure if they still are, because I got removed from the partner server, which is weird. But if you want to help out my channel, use code PROTOBEE in their shop to save 10% off your order and to give me a little bit of funding so I can continue making videos such as these. Or use my affiliate link down in the description. But if you want to help out my channel for completely free, you can like or subscribe. It is completely free and you can undo it at any time. Also, leaving a comment down below if you want a cab recommendation helps me out a lot, or if you just want to give some feedback. I'm always looking to have new ideas on how I can better my videos production and quality. But if you stuck around this long and followed the tutorial as I have done, or if you followed any tutorials that I've done already, and thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be seeing you in the next video. Goodbye.